Hello there everybody, my name is Orky, and today in this video we're going to be doing I'm just going to be explaining how this works, because I didn't really do that. But first thing you want to do is just, over here, you want to change asteroids alive by -1, and also over here so they naturally respawn. I already tested this out, it works. Do not put it here, however, over here, just in here. Anyway, let's begin with how this works. So let's begin at the very beginning. When flat clicked, you broadcast setup. Now in the setup, you set HP to 4. Not on the setup, but when flat clicked. That is because we used the setup for another thing, which I'll get to later. So you do that. When I receive setup, you want to set up everything. Go to 0, set speed to 0, switch costume to idle, set acceleration to 0. So if you die, you want to just continue moving. And then you'll start flashing. Then you broadcast shooting enabled, so you can start shooting, and then you broadcast spawn shield. So in that time period of 3 seconds, you cannot shoot. I mean, you can't take damage, but you can still shoot, which is not really fair, but whatever. And then in a forever loop, you broadcast script. Then when I receive script, you'll do a new block called movement. The thing has a run screen with refresh. So yeah. If up arrow key or W, so you can use either WASD or arrow keys, you change speed by acceleration. The acceleration is so it's more smooth and you get faster and faster than just like set speed, because that feels much too mechanical. Then if speed is less than 1.1, aka if it's 1, then you change acceleration by 0.1, so you speed up. Otherwise, you just set it to 1, so it can't go any higher. And if that is not pressed, if acceleration is not equal to 0, set acceleration to 0. That is so, this thing doesn't do anything weird. Over here, you will just have the turning thing, and then you set speed to speed times 0.9. This will just have a gradual slowing effect. The lower this is, like 0.7, 0.8, the less slippery it looks. And for this one, it just sets volume to 50% because at all times we're playing Space Noise. Let me play it for you. I found this in the scratch library, but there are a few things from me doing some editing. You set volume to 50%, so it just you start hearing it. Next costume, wait 0.25 seconds, and then yeah, switch costume to idle, and then change volume by -2. If none of that is happening, then it'll change volume by -2, so it's like a gradual slowing effect. Over here, it just teleports us. If we're touching the edge, it'll just go to the other side. And over here, just shooting and spawn shield. Then if we go over to the bullet, when flat click, you hide, so you can't see the original sprite. Then when I start as a clone, because in the player you shoot, you set lifespan to 1.5, so it'll wait 1.5 as the variable before it disappears. Set volume to 5%, so it's not too loud, and then start to sound pew, so as soon as it gets gridded. Go to back layer, so it's not like flying, popping out of nowhere, and then go to player. Point in the direction of player, so that it points in the same direction, and then move 10 steps, so it's not like going here or here or anything. Then repeat until touching the asteroids. You go 12 steps, and you change lifespan by -0.1, which I'll get onto here. Then we just have the teleporting script. Over here we have just, if it is less than 0, then you just wait, it's gone. So because in the original game you can't just shoot, and then it'll fly around. And also, after a while, if you just spam spacebar, there'll be like 700 of those, so that's also a reason. When I start as a clone, if touching asteroids, then set ghost effect to 100, wait 0.1 seconds, and then delete this clone. Black border. I just one black click hide when I see script show, and when I see setup, go to front layer. Now over here. One black click, set asteroids alive to 0. So we don't have any of that weird shenanigans. And hide. When flat clicked, wherever, if asteroids alive is equal to 0, repeat 5 times, set type to large, and then create a clone of myself, because it's already set here to 0. Now, the reason we can't put this in a script, when I see script, is because that's constantly happening, so, it might get broken or something. Over here, when it gets created, if your type is not equal to debris, over here, we'll get onto that, you change asteroid's life by 1, because one of them has been generated. If type is equal to large, you do that if type is equal to large, because only the large ones spawn large. If you shoot them, they'll create a clone, and the clones will, like, float away, but you don't want them to spawn at the edge, which is why you have this in an if. And then we just have a pick random thing, so it will randomly generate somewhere. Then, if type is equal to large, then you switch costume between 1 and 3, because we have 3 different large costumes, 3 different medium, and 3 different small, and then 1 for debris. And then set speed to 0.5. If your type is equal to medium, 4 to 6. Set speed to 1. And then if it is small, pick around one of these, set speed 2. Then you show. Fine. Then you point in a random direction, so you can also, like, teleport through. Okay. Oh, wait, actually you can't do that, but you'll point in a random direction. And you'll start moving. Then, forever, if touching player, if can take damage, if the player can't take damage if it's not spawn shield, you change the player HP by -1, and if the HP is less than 2, because there's also a blank sprite, you stop all, which will later switch out for the title screen. Broadcast setup, so it resets everything, and then wait until not touching player, so it won't just explode, because then the player might do that in a pinch. Then you just move speed steps, because we set them over here. And then we just have the teleportation thing. Now this is if you make the debris, which we'll do after we do this. So when I start as a clone forever, if you're touching bullet, this is the death one. If touching bullet, if type is equal to large, set type to medium. So you start splitting into smaller. If it is medium, set type to small. And if it is small, change asteroids alive by -1 and delete this clone, because if the bullet shoots a mini asteroid, then it's dead. Then you repeat 2 to 4 times to create a clone of myself, because like the larger ones would create smaller medium ones because they broke off. And then you hide. Set type to debris. Repeat 10 times, so there's 10 particle. You can change this however you want, and then change asteroids alive by -1 and delete this clone. You have hide, so it won't just stand there and then you'll accidentally walk into it. If it's hide, then it won't work. It won't do any damage stuff. Over here we just have a show. Switch costume to debris, so you're not a weird costume. Point in a random direction. Set speed to 7, and then repeat until speed is equal to 1. Change ghost effect by 10. Change size by -5. Move speed steps and change speed by -5. And then you keep doing that. And then you delete this clone. Then over here. When flat clicked, hide. When I receive script, oh, you don't need that. Forever loop. Go to front layer and switch costume to HP. Voila. Now, credits over here. Some of the script was made by Warframe. I added some of my own stuff here. But the base thing, this part of the code was made by him. So, yeah. Put that back. And then put that back. That is about the entire thing so far. Now I'm going to do an anti-lag technique made by Griffpatch. And you just leave nothing in here. then put it as the first sprite. Because according to GriffPatch, the things light up when it's running. You know, it highlights, but that is actually causing lag. So when a person clicks on this project, it'll go to load the first sprite, but it can't highlight anything because there's nothing to highlight. So there won't be any lag. So now the game works much smoother. I don't know if you can tell, but it does. Yeah, that's it. See you next time, and spread the jam on the bread and do it correctly. I'm watching you.